Heinrich to California Congressman Khanna, what he makes of this. Republicans are calling it a distraction. Congressman, what do you say?
I don't think the people whose criminal records have been expunged think it was a distraction. It's thousands of Americans, many of them who simply possessed it. They didn't traffic in it. And those are the people who he's forgiving so they can get jobs, so they don't have arrest records.
I'm not 6,500 in that kind of position. 340 million Americans dealing with runaway inflation and everything else. I mean, it just seems like a wacky priority.
Well, look, the president does a lot of things. He can walk and chew gum at the same time. I mean, I've been calling that we need to be far tougher on Saudi Arabia.
Wouldn't you want to be walking more than, let's say, you're chewing gum? Right? I mean, wouldn't you want to be addressing the big elephant in the room, which is all this runaway price stuff? And now gas prices, 15 days running again northward. I mean, I take nothing away from what you're saying, Congressman, but that it's a goofy priority this week.
Well, I don't think it's a priority as much as it's just something that was on his plate and he did. The priority is to get gas prices low, and what we need to do is be very tough on Saudi Arabia. I mean, after all we've done for that country, President Bush, the first Bush, defended them against Saddam Hussein, made sure that they weren't invaded. We give them all of the weapons, 70% of their weapons. For them to do this to the American people is outrageous, and we should say if they don't reverse their decision, we're going to stop sending them weapons.
How about if we just stop accepting their oil, period, and rely on what we've got here in ample abundance?
Well, as you know, Neil, production is up over 2020 and 2021. It hasn't come to 2019 levels yet, but it's projected by 2023 to be at record levels. If the oil companies want to invest more in refineries, they can continue to increase production. They're not willing to make that investment.
Why would they commit to a multi-year assignment like that when they know the administration isn't keen on renewables? And they've heard certainly from a number of key players, including the National Climate Advisor, Gina McCarthy, who said, let me be clear and let me answer very directly. President Biden remains absolutely committed to not moving forward with additional drilling on public lands. If I'm running a multi-gazillion-dollar company, I'm looking at that and saying, all right, well, that would be a multi-billion-dollar waste.
Well, first of all, you're right that it's multi-years out, so it's going to do nothing to bring down gas prices now. Second, these oil companies are sitting on about 20% of unused permits, and they have not made the investment, not just in the Biden administration. They weren't making those investments in 2020 or 2021.
Well, they buy those permits and leases under the idea that, you know, most they hope will pan out, but right now about a quarter of them are being challenged by environmental groups in court, so they're kind of in limbo. I'm not saying they're saints here, but they're hardly the villains here either, right?
Well, my interest is how do we get gas prices down now in the next couple months, and there are two things we can do. We can push Saudi Arabia to meet their commitments, and we can stop the export of gas. That's something I've been calling for 6 months. It should be bipartisan. Why are we sending our gas overseas, including, by the way, in a report to China, when we should be having it for the American people?
All right, fair enough. It's a good argument. Khanna, great seeing you again. Thank you.